Hey, what's up guys? It's Ivan, and in this video I want to show you how to set up your webinar here in Kartra, which is a great way for you to get a group of people together as you explain something to them and then pitch your product at the end. And so for example, we could create a webinar and then put it on our sales page so that if people want to learn more, they could sign up and register for this webinar, and then we can promote our products to them. So let's get into it. The first thing you have to do is click on webinars here on the left-hand side. So we're just going to click here. I already have a webinar, so let me just go ahead and delete it and we'll just start from scratch. So you'll see something that looks like this. You can click on create webinar. So let's enter a name. Let's say we want to create a Google Ads webinar for our Google Ads course, right? So we want to show our Google Ads expertise. We want to answer some questions, some frequently asked questions about Google Ads, for example. So we'll say Google Ads course webinar. We'll click next. And then you have this basic configuration, which basically is just one small page where you fill in some blanks and your webinar will be ready. Or you have this advanced configuration. I'm of course going to go with the advanced so you see all the options, and why not take advantage of me while you can to help guide you with that. So we're going to click here, we'll click next. And then you have these options where you can have the webinar right now. You have it available immediately as soon as somebody signs up. You have this other option here, 24 hours. So your webinar will always be active. And then as soon as you're ready, you can go in there and log in and offer your presentation. Or you have the scheduled, which is generally the most common webinar type where people can select their times and then they'll be able to meet with you. So I'm going to select the scheduled one because it's the most common one usually. And I'm going to click on create. And now we're going to go from left to right, top to bottom again. So for the webinar title, we can name it Google Ads, let's say, frequently asked, let's see if there's space, questions, perfect. And then we have a description. In this webinar, I cover the most common Google Ads questions, for example. And then again, we're going to quickly add our logo here. It's going to be, let's use this darker one. We'll click confirm. And then we're going to hit save for this part. And then presenters. So the full name, so that's going to be me. So if you have any other presenters, you can add them here, or you can just click on edit and then you can edit the existing one. So in our case, let's suppose I want to add a picture, a photo. I'm going to click change. And we've uploaded this photo for our membership site. So let's use the same one. Crop it up a little bit like that, and there you go. And now this part looks good. So that's going to be the presenter. We're going to hit save and next. And then here we have the scheduling type. So do you only want people to be able to register for one session at a time? And as you can see, here's an image of what it's going to look like. Or people can select multiple sessions at a time. So they can join many different ones, especially if you have, for example, like a Google Ads FAQ 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, things like that. You also have a recurring series of events. So if you're going to have this webinar every single day, for example, or every Saturday at 9 p.m., you can do that here. I'm just going to select one single session, right? That's the standard, the status quo. And we're going to enter dates that we're going to add. So when do you want to host your webinar? So let's suppose, so today's the 17th. Let's suppose we have one tomorrow, the 18th at 9 a.m. And then let's suppose we have one on Saturday as well, the 20th at 9 a.m. And let's suppose we have one on Monday, the 22nd at 9 a.m. Okay, so every 2 days we have this webinar, and that's our schedule. We're going to hit save. And then you can let the users choose their time zone, or you can set your own. I definitely recommend users being able to select the time zone because people might not be familiar with where you are, right? So we'll click with that one and we'll click save and next. And then here, your registration, do you want to make it free or paid? So with this one, you're going to need to create it as a product. So you're going to need to make another, let's say in this case, Google Ads webinar product. And then you would come in here and you would select it. In our case, we do have a Google Ads course, right? So that's why I can select it, but you would create your own webinar. So it's going to be totally separate than the product that you've already created, this course. So in our case, let's suppose we want to give webinars away for free, which is, again, that's generally the standard, because on the webinars, when you actually pitch usually your high ticket products, right? And then over here, you can set what you want people to add. So their first name, last name, email, anything else you want to add, their middle name maybe, their address, their postal code, their city, country, Instagram, LinkedIn account, anything like that, you can do that. Again, you can create a custom field, same as with when we set up our form, we had these exact same options. So you can enter any custom value. So drop down menu, you can enter a question and then some options for them to choose from. So you can do that. So actually, let's just do this one right here. So let's say, how did you hear about us, right? And then you can make it mandatory if you like, that's fine. And then we could say Google, we could say friend, we could say social media, for example, okay? And then that's how this would work. You have these other cool options here, play around with those. Now we need to enter the field identifier. This is more so for your reference so that you can identify this specific field. So this is gonna be, how did you hear? There's no spaces or anything like that. You can't do that. So again, it's just for your reference. So how did you hear? And we can hit save, and that's going to be the name of the field that we have here, right? And then this is the registration message. So when somebody is about to register, what do you want it to say? So at the top here, we had the headline, and then we had the subheadline, right? So this is basically taking all the information you put in your basic info. So we're going to hit save for that one. That one's good. We're going to hit save for this one. And then after they register for the webinar, what do you want it to say? So you can send them this general confirmation message, which you can change over here, or you can redirect them to another page. So if you created a separate webinar thank you page, custom made here within Kartra, you can do that. We don't have a special webinar thank you page, so we're just gonna use this one right here. This one's fine. So we can say, congrats on registering, or thank you for registering. Actually, thank you for registering. Your seat to the webinar has been registered. And then there should also be a link. So on this success message, there will also be a link to where people can go, and they should also get an email as well so that they know where exactly to go. So we'll get through that. I'll show you what that's going to look like as we fill in these steps. And then over here, so email confirmation and reminder. So this is one of the reasons why we integrated our Kartra mail and verified and authenticated our email in one of the previous videos just for this, so that we'll be able to email them, to communicate to them, to get not only an instant confirmation message, but also access URL to the event so they know where to go. So because we have it set up, we can select this option. I highly recommend you to communicate with your users, otherwise they'll be lost and you have to say everything on your thank you page. So it's just much easier to have everything for them via email. So we're gonna hit save. And then you can choose what exactly you want to send to them. So you can send a booking confirmation, so a confirmation that they registered, which you can edit over here. Congratulations, your webinar is registered. So it's going to be the event hosted by me, date, time, right? And then here's going to be the link. So that's what they're going to get. And you can edit that. So that one looks good. And then you have before and after reminders. So if you want to set another specific reminder to them before the event, you can do so here, or another one after the event. So if I'm going to mention to them my Google Ads course, I can send them a reminder afterwards. And I can say, hey, here is that Google Ads course that I was talking about. So in this case, I would select this option. I would say after the scheduled session. So let's say we want to do it maybe 5 hours. And we can either do like, here's the replay video, or we can say, here are the links mentioned, right? And then we can copy it into this optional field. And then we could say, we have recorded the event for you, sure. So we can do that. And then we can have all these. And then we can also say, additionally, here are the links that we provided during the call. Right, and then we can have, Google Ads training course, and then we can select it, and then we can take people to our sales page. So we're gonna highlight it, and then we're gonna look for our URL. I believe it was adnetworkexpert.com, right? So it was adnetworkexpert.com. That was the URL, yeah. So we can take people here and click OK. And so now after the webinar, right, 5 hours after it, they're going to get this reminder with the replay as well as access to the link. So what we want to do here as well is maybe not outline, but maybe make this like bluish, right? Like the standard. And then that looks good. So we're gonna hit save. And so, yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, guys. You just go from left to right, follow in whatever Kartra tells you to do as the next step. Pretty intuitive. You can also add different polls and quizzes and all of these options here so that you're ready for your presentation. So if you want to create a certain poll, you can do so here. If you want to sell a certain product, which in this case we do want to add it here. So we're going to say Google Ads, let's say Mastery Course. So that's the name of the offer. That's for your reference, but then it's the same thing. Offer image. I don't believe we actually set an image for the course, but we selected like a template here. Text above the button. So learn everything you need about Google Ads. And then text inside the button. Yeah, you can say get started. And then if you have the link to your Kartra page that we've created, right? So we've created our Google Ads course main sales page. Boom, people can click on here during the webinar and they'll be able to get access. And then you can add the scarcity. So you can say, okay, there's only 10 copies left available, 10 available units, which obviously doesn't make sense in our case because it's a digital course, but you could do that. You could also add urgency. So you could say, hey, you know what? It's only going for this certain price for another 5 hours, okay? So you have to get it right now. So that's basically what it is. So you can even change the text here and say, get your discount now, something like that, right? And then this offer is going to be available in the live room. And whenever you're ready, you'll be able to activate it. So it's not going to be available right away, but it says here, you'll be able to pop them in front of the audience with the click of a button. Okay, so you'll have everything available there, all the resources, all the polls and quizzes, the products, offers, everything. And with the click of a button, you choose what you want to add and it's going to be popped up on the screen. So maybe after half an hour, maybe after an hour, or however long your webinar is, you want to pop this course, right, as you talk about it. Then you have the videos, so you can add a new video as well. So we do have this video here in our Kartra library. So let's just use this as an example. Let's suppose you do want to show them this video here. And the cool thing about this one is that this video will play actually on the webinar screen, right? So you can have the webinar and then as soon as you're ready, the video will play. So really cool stuff. File handouts. So I am offering a free affiliate marketing guide, right? If people sign up to our list. So if you, for example, want to include some sort of guide, you can do that as well. And then again, you can choose to add it. So we're going to click save for all of these. If you have a slide presentation, so if you have like a PowerPoint presentation or anything like that that you want to add, this is pretty cool too. So once you're ready to talk about whatever is on this presentation, you can go in and add that as well. So pretty cool. I'm really happy with just how easy Kartra makes all this and how easy it integrates everything together. Then we're going to hit save and next. And then you can allow people to have access to the replay room. Sorry, I mean, you can not allow people to have access to the replay room, or you can have them be able to have access again afterwards. So up to you. It makes it a little more unique if you say no. However, I have seen cases of when people do allow replay. So this is totally up to you and how you plan on having your own webinar. I'm going to say yes over here and we'll click save. And then you can have the exact same replica. You can have a custom video. So if you want to have like a little shortcut instead, or a summary, or if you want to edit your webinar, if it's not perfect, then you can send them this better webinar, right? So, or you can redirect them to, again, another page. So if you have another webinar page with another video or something like that, you can do that. We're going to say replica, exact replica. We will give the users replay controls. There will be no expiration on the replay page. And you can activate the question box, which you will get via email. And this is the email, or you can make it your the email that we've created, which is yvonne@adnetworkexpert.com. And people, once they submit questions, you will get them via email. So these look good. We're going to hit save. I'm going to hit save here. Click save and next. Oops. Okay, and then here you can assign tags again. So I strongly recommend that you add tags for every single one of these options that we set in the course, just because it's so useful that you'll be able to send out emails to specific people, which is really, really cool, guys. So for this one, right, so people that register for the webinar, we want to come in here, and these are the tags we have, but we want to create a new tag, and this one's going to be, for example, webinar attendees. Attendees. Did I spell that right? I think it's 2 T's, right? Yeah, 2 T's. And then tag description, let's say Google Ads webinar attendees. Category is going to be under affiliate marketing, and there's no expiration date. We'll click create. And so now, again, we'll be able to actually send out emails to just these people, right? Which is really, really cool. If we have a list, so we can also create a list for them. So these are the lists that we have, but we can create another one. We can do the same thing. So webinar attendees. And then here, Google Ads, webinar attendees, same thing. So that's the public description that people see. That's for your reference. And you might even want to name it as well. So GA, if you want to be more specific. So people that specifically attended your Google Ads webinar attendees. And then if you have another course, you could create another list for that. But this is really cool too. And then if you have any sequences already set up, you can add them to a certain sequence, or you can create them, click change, subscribe to a sequence. But for this part, normally I like it much better to do it under communications. So under the automation, under there. I don't really like to do sequences or basic automations here because I think it's easier to keep track of entire kind of groups that you're going to be targeting. So I like to do it under communications. So that looks good. We're going to hit save. And that is it. Okay, so this is going to be our webinar registration page. And this is the page for us to go in there and start presenting. So let me change this to adnetworkexpert.com/webinar. We're going to hit next. And let's see what this is going to look like. So that's the registration page. And so when somebody goes here, they'll be able to choose the times, right? These are the times that we have. When you click on register now, you can choose the times from the drop down. So people are going to select all these options. So let's register just to show you what it's going to look like. How did you hear about us? Google, and I'll click on register now. And then let me show you what it's going to look like in the email. So that's the link that people are going to go to, this one right here. They come here. So right now it's going to start soon in 1 day. Okay, so it's got this nice little message here. I don't know why it's Dublin time when I'm not in Dublin, Ireland, but that's okay. So that's the page that people go to, and then people can set themselves a reminder, right? So they get everything here, but then they also get everything via email. So let me go ahead and log into my email just to show you what it's going to look like when they actually receive the email as well. And so here in my email, you will receive these 2 emails. So the first is the confirmation webinar link. So it just confirms that you registered, has the webinar room. And then this one is for you. So because my account, my main account here has my email, ivan@ivanmana.com. That's the email of my account. That's why I'm getting this. So it's telling me that another person has registered. Okay, so this is the email that the customer is going to get right here. Okay, congratulations, right? Coming from Ivan Mana at adnetworkexpert.com to me. So the person that registered. And then, yeah, it's got the link. So people can click here when it's time and get started. Now, for the actual user, for you, right, you will use this link here. And first, Kartra is going to check everything, make sure everything's good. Let me see if it'll work here. Yeah, so it can't work just because I already have... I'm already using this audio program. But once everything is checked, okay, assuming you're not recording a video, once everything is checked, you'll be taken to your page where you can start the live webinar. So it's going to have the camera, it's going to have the audio set up. You'll be able to see people who joined, you'll be able to see the conversation, and then you'll also have the option to select what resources you want to add at which point, right? So the files, the video, the course, everything like that, you'll be able to choose. So don't worry about that for now. So let's close out of that. So that's pretty much it for this, but let's go into pages and let me show you how you can actually add this page as well. So if we edit our Google Ads course sales page, let's suppose we want to add a webinar invitation here as well somewhere, right? So if we go back to our sales page and we add a section, so this was our sales page that we've created. So let's say we want to add another section maybe over here. So we're going to click on sections. Let's say empty section, and we're just going to drag it over here. Oh, there you go. And then over here, let's suppose we want to say, right, like if we click on components, right, we need to drag a column here first. Click on columns over here, and we just want it to be full here. Oops. I just want to show you what it's going to look like. And then now we can add, let's go back to components, text. Here we can say want to learn more, sign up for our webinar. I know that you can't see that, but something like this, and then we can center it, we can make it bold, we can make it bigger. Let's say, okay, that's a little too big. say 1.2, right? And then here, we can actually add that button now, right here. And add the button. And then here, we can say, so this button, we want to center it again. Let's go down here, click center, and then we'll go into text and we'll say, register for your webinar now. Okay, and then we're going to click on apply. Sorry, we should click apply here as well. We're going to go to link, and then for this one, we're going to select link to Kartra webinar, right? And then we're going to select our webinar, and then you can choose whether you want to take people to another page, which is going to look like this, or if you want to do a pop-up. I think pop-up looks good. Keeps people on the same page, and we want people to buy here, right? So we don't want to take them away to another page. So we're going to click here, and there's that. So now let me save, and let me show you now what that's going to look like here. It's been saved. We're going to publish live. And yeah, so we already have the page link, so let's just refresh this one. We're going to scroll down. And then here, want to learn more, sign up for our webinar. People click here, people will be able to sign up. They click on register, and then boom, they select their time, okay? So very, very intuitive, flows very, very smoothly. I love it. And yeah, that's how you set up a webinar here in Kartra. If you guys haven't signed up for Kartra yet, and you haven't taken advantage of my exclusive offer, I do highly recommend that you do. I offer you a free 30-day trial and 20% off on your first payment after the trial. Simply head over to go.ivanmana.com/Kartra to take advantage of the offer. And that said, that is all for this part. In the next section, I want to go over how to set up calendars, how to set up funnels, campaigns, all that. All right. I will see you in the next video.